Good morning, students. Hope you all are well. So, today we will start a new chapter that is very interesting and important also. The chapter is probability. Okay, and in our day to day life, we use many terms related to probability. It has many real life application. Like we say that there are chances that the price of gold will raise high, and suppose it probably rain today, probably he won't come. This kind of sentence we use, and these are all from this chapter, that is probability. So let's start. So, probability is actually a branch of mathematics to measure uncertainty of events using numbers. Probability is actually a branch of mathematics to measure uncertainty of events using numbers. Now, probability can be 0, can be 1. When the probability is 1, that is the event is certain. Okay, the event is certain, and when it is 0, then the probability is impossible. That means that event would not be possible and this event is possible. Okay, this is certain and this is uncertain. So probability is actually branch of mathematics to measure uncertainty of events using numbers. We will calculate this using numbers. So discuss more. Now, in your earlier classes, that is in class 9, you have already know about the experimental approach of probability. Okay, and in this class, that is in class 10, you will know about the theoretical approach of probability. Earlier classes, you have the concept of experimental approach, and in this class you will get a concept on theoretical approach of probability. Now, what is experimental approach of probability? It depends on the experiment and happening of an event. Okay, experimental approach, in experimental approach we do experiments. Okay, we do experiments. Okay, and in the theoretical approach there is some difference from experimental approach to theoretical approach. What are the difference? In experimental approach we calculate probability when the experiment actually done. Okay, when the experiment is actually done, then we calculate experimental approach of the probability, that is experimental probability. And in theoretical approach we assume. Okay, here assumption made, that is here we calculate the probability before the experiment is conducted. Here actually done, the experiment is actually done, and in theoretical approach we calculate probability before the experiment is done. This is the main difference between theoretical approach and experimental approach. I hope you have now clear concept between the about the difference between theoretical approach and experimental approach. And always remember that experimental approach of a probability is always equal to the theoretical approach of probability when the number of trial is very large. When the number of trial is very large, then the experimental approach is equal to the theoretical approach. Now, how you calculate the theoretical probability of an event E? Suppose there is an event E, okay, and you have to calculate the theoretical probability of this event, that is P of E. Then P of E will be equal to number of outcomes favorable to E. Number of outcomes favorable to E. If we denote this by the alphabet M, and divided by number of all possible outcomes, and we will denote this by n. So P of E, that is the probability of the event E, will be equal to number of outcomes favorable to E divided by number of all possible outcomes. So here we denote this by M, numerator, and the denominator is n, then it will be equal to M by n. Now, from these two, you can easily say that the number of favorable outcome will be less than or equal to the possible outcome. It can never be greater than n because n is the all possible outcome. So, m can be less than or equal to n. So, we write here m is less than n. Now, m by n will be less than equal to 1. and m by n will be greater than equal to 0, because we have already mentioned that probability varies between 0 to 1. Here 0 is the impossible event and 1 is the certain event, okay, or sure event. So this will vary between 0 less than equal to m by n less than equal to 1. So for 0, when it is 0, then p of e will be written as 0 and we will name this event as impossible event. And when p of e becomes 1, then this event is known as sure event, okay. So p of e will vary between 0 to 1. Here 0 is the impossible event and 1 is the sure event. And how you calculate p of e? P of e is nothing but m by n, where m is less than equal to n. Now what is m? I have already mentioned, and also I have mentioned what is n. That's all for theoretical probability. Now we will discuss some example on this. There is a question that what is the probability of getting 7? What is the probability of getting 7 when a dice is thrown? Okay, what is the probability of getting 7 when a dice is thrown? First, discuss what can be the possible outcome when a dice is thrown. When a dice is thrown, the possible outcomes can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So by the previous definition of theoretical approach of a probability, all the possible outcome will be n equal to 6. So we write here, if it's m by n, so we write here 6. Now you can see that from all these possible outcomes, there is no 7. You will not get 7 in any of the throw of the dice, okay. You won't get 7 because all the numbers lie between 1 to 6 in a dice. So you won't get 7. So the favorable outcome to this question will be 0, because you are not getting 7 anywhere, okay. So here m is 0, so we are putting 0 here, so it will give you 0. Since it is impossible event, the value of the probability will be 0. And how you get this? Here is the calculation. So it is the example 1 for impossible event. Now we will discuss another example. Now for example 2, it is said that find the probability of getting a head when a coin is tossed. When a coin is tossed once. It is also important how many times you are tossing the coin. You are tossing the coin once, and I have asked you to find the probability of getting a head and also find the probability of getting tail. So for this experiment of tossing a coin, the possible outcome will be head or tail, okay, head or tail. This is the possible outcome. So the total number of possible outcome, that is n, it will be 2. Now for the first question, a head, it is getting a head. If we denote this event as e, then the favorable outcome for e, that is getting head, will be 1. Either it will be head or it will be tail. So the favorable event will be 1. Now by the definition of calculating the theoretical approach of the probability of e will be m by n, and by putting this value you will get half. And also if I denote this event, that getting tail, as f, then the total number of outcome will be 2, same as above. And also the favorable outcome to this event f of getting a tail will be 1, because if you toss a coin once, either you will get head or tail. So the favorable outcome will be 1. So here we write m, the value of m as 1. So p of f will be m by n, that is 1 by 2. This is the value of the probability of getting a head when a coin is tossed once, and this is the value of getting tail when the coin is tossed once. Now here, if we sum up p of e and p of f, it will give you half plus half, that is 1. So from this example, we observe that the sum of the probabilities of all elementary events, the sum of the probabilities of all elementary events of an experiment is 1. The sum of probabilities of all elementary events of an experiment is 1. Okay, so here you see that there is an experiment and these are the all possible elementary events, and if you sum these two events then it will give you 2. So this is the observation from this example, and this is true in general also. So these are the keywords, that is all elementary events of an experiment is 1, the sum of the probabilities. Okay, and this is true in general also. So that's all for today. Now go through the NCERT book and understand this topic twice. Okay, thank you.